All right, it's time for another edition of Overreaction Monday. Everybody, Rich Eisen along with Chris Brockman. We were going to do this as soon as the schedule came out, but you were too busy playing golf, and then I went away. So here I am. Here we are.
Let's go.
The schedule has been released, and this edition of Overreaction Monday is brought to you by Game Time, the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Game Time has killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seat, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. There's a promo code called Overreaction. You use it, you get $20 off your first purchase. Good stuff. We'll tell you more about how you can get involved with Game Time and put it on your phone to start buying tickets today. What do you have over there, Chris Brockman? What do you have?
Rich, let's play the our music
first.
Ready to
go? Are you ready to go?
Yeah,
We're ready to go?
All
right, hit it.
Let's just go.
Overreaction Monday, baby.
That was terrible. That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
All right, Christopher.
Let's just get right to it.
Sure.
We got lots happened between the end of the NFL draft and
That's
now.
true. That's
There's
true.
been OTAs. We got the schedule. So how about this? Let's just start with the champs, the Chiefs. They're going to start 0-3.
They're not starting 0-3. What an overreaction that is.
0-3.
Their first two games are at home. So you're saying they're going to lose back-to-back games in Arrowhead to start the season?
Why not? They would have lost. They lost the opener last year. They're playing a team that has played them really tough to start the season. The Baltimore Ravens, a rematch of the championship game. Maybe we get some revenge there. They're playing Joe Burrow. He's back, long hair or not. They've beaten them in the playoffs. And then the Falcons are kind of a wild card shoot, so let's just call it.
Total overreaction. Absolute complete overreaction. It's early season for everybody.
Yeah,
so
preseason.
No, I get it.
You know how slow they started last year?
I don't have my computer or stats in front of me here.
Just throwing it out there.
I'm just wondering, clearly, and I will throw it away by saying this is a complete overreaction. I'm wondering the last time the Chiefs started their first 2 weeks at home in Arrowhead. When was the last time that happened? I don't know the answer to that. When was the last time that happened and they went 0-2? I bet you it's been quite some long time for that.
Maybe even just the last time they lost 2 straight home games.
I'm sure it's happened in recent years. I'm sure it's happened over a span of certain weeks, maybe not back to back to start the season. That's for sure. And then going to Atlanta, I understand everybody's high on the Falcons, despite their still head scratching first round drafting decision. The Chiefs starting 0-3 just because they're taking on
tough opponents.
One playoff team from last year. One.
True. But you think
vastly improved.
But you think all 3 are making the playoffs this year, right?
I would say that stands to reason, but I'm not going to say for sure that all 3 are making the playoffs.
Okay.
You know, the Buccaneers are still the defending champs of that division, and I think they got stronger by staying together. I thought that there was no way in hell that Jason Light would be able to keep Levante David and Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield.
True.
And, get Antoine Winfield done in some way, shape, or form.
But the one thing holding back the Falcons the last couple of years has been the quarterback play.
That's right. Correct. And I'm assuming it will be better. Well, listen, we're going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here where you try to basically have them starting 0-3 as a classic overreaction.
I was just seeing if I could get you to be like, oh, okay, maybe.
No, not even a higher register.
All right.
Consideration. What else?
All right. Let's talk quarterbacks and who's next to get paid. Seems like Trevor Lawrence is next to get paid. The Jaguars should make him prove it before giving him $50 million a year.
They're not going to make him prove anymore.
I'm just saying they're not
going to make him prove it.
They should.
Why?
Make him play this year out.
Why?
Because what if he's not the guy?
How is he not the guy?
You're asking me. I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
What has he done to prove that he is the guy?
Well, he has shown enough to take them to the playoffs one year and come back from a disastrous first half start.
You know who else took a team to the playoffs one year? Daniel Jones.
I hear you. And then made it just as far. They were also 8-3 last year. They took the field on a Monday night against Jake Browning and the Bengals to be the 1 seed, and he got hurt. He went down. Remember that was the famous moment where if you could choose the city in the United States of America that has the most golf carts per capita, it would have to be the Jacksonville. That's where you played golf last week.
I was literally just there.
Okay, so you know how many golf carts there are, and there wasn't one for him. It was really, really, really weird.
Yeah, they made him hobble off the field.
It's like it's like you're in a Hostess factory and there's no food. There's no desserts. You know what I mean? So
just want a Twinkie.
That said, I think he's done enough to show that he's gonna
$50 million.
He's gonna get a second contract, dude, and that's what second contracts are in the NFL.
Teams know they don't have to do this, right? They don't have to.
What's the alternative then? Start fresh, go back in the draft?
Go back in the draft or give him $30 million, $35 million. Come on.
We know that won't happen.
But why?
Because you're not resetting any markets anymore. Agents won't stand for it, and neither will the players, and that's the way it goes.
Well, guess what? Too bad to the agent. And just tell the player, this is our deal. Take it or leave it, and then see what happens.
Then he'll leave it, and then you're back in the draft.
Great.
No, it's not great. Actually, it's the opposite.
And you'll
of
get
great.
a guy who can take you to one playoff game in 5 years.
Well, that also has to do with other factors. Do you think Trevor Lawrence regressed because he's not good last year? Or he regressed last year because he was playing with a ton of injuries that normally would make somebody look like they're regressing?
Well, he just lost his best receiver, too. I think the jury is really out on this guy, who we anointed after his first year of college that he was going to be this godsend and franchise-changing player, and he has yet to do that.
I'm going to say something that I'm assuming you'll disagree with. With all due respect to Calvin Ridley, his best receiver is Christian Kirk, and he didn't have him last year. And the night where Lawrence went down at the end against Cincinnati, Christian Kirk blew out his abdomen pretty much.
Yeah,
on a freaky catch.
Yeah, trying to make
on a freaky catch.
You think he's better than?
And you could make a case.
Okay,
you could make a case that Calvin Ridley has more talent if you want to go there. But in terms of the connection, in terms of the chemistry, his most important receiver is Christian Kirk, and he was gone last year. There was a lot of factors going in. I know for sure Trevor Lawrence is a guy who has an upside still in this league.
I agree with that, but I think we make a lot of excuses for this guy.
So maybe put him in the $40 million club. That's what you want to do. You want to try that one?
Yeah, but the numbers.
But you're not going to let him play out his deal. You're not going to just Kirk Cousins him and start franchise tagging him. That's just not the way they're going to do business. It's not a smart way to do business.
But then you're spending all this money on hope.
Well, it's better than putting money on despair, sir.
I get you.
0 for 2. What else?
0 for 2.
In terms of getting me to agree with you.
Interesting. Oh, well, you're going to agree with this one.
Okay.
The Patriots are going to have a top 3 pick again in the 2025 NFL draft.
I don't think that's an overreaction, but
I look at this schedule. I don't know what did Cooper say when he called in last week.
8-9, although I got a bunch of texts or tweets from people that tweets from people that I miscounted.
Miscounted which way? Positive or negative?
Instead of it wasn't 8-9, it was 7-10.
Okay, that's still incredibly optimistic in my opinion. Look at these first
at Cincinnati.
I don't know where these first 7 weeks go in terms of
Cincinnati, home for Seattle, at the Jets on a Thursday night, then at San Francisco. That does reek of 0-4.
5-6.
Home for Miami, home for Houston, home for Jacksonville. Well, that's known for Jacksonville. That's a home game for them in London. Home for the Jets, fresh back from London, at Tennessee,
where
at Chicago.
Where are the wins coming?
I don't know. So
I know they have one of the toughest schedules I saw.
You're right.
These guys in the Steelers, but not a lot. I mean, 3 wins maybe at the most. Well, I just don't see a lot of wins.
I guess what's their issue is who are the last place games. The problem is a last place game because you get a last place schedule.
Well,
Chargers, the Chargers
Cincinnati,
are
right.
The Chargers are a last place game.
Yeah,
Cincinnati's a last place game.
Yeah.
Who else?
Arizona,
is a last place
were they
game?
a last place game?
Well, no, you're taking on.
We're playing the West.
You're taking the West.
We're playing on the West.
The Titans are a last place game. No, you were that.
No, because we're playing this. We're playing the South.
You are playing the South.
The South and the West.
So look for an AFC team that's a last place team. Cincinnati's one.
Cincinnati and
the Chargers are another.
Chicago, were they a last place team?
No, I mean again. Listen to us sounding it out. Like
I know, but I'm just saying it's going to be bad.
It's a team.
I think it's going to be rough.
It's a team from the AFC Central, and I think it could be Tennessee or Jacksonville. Yeah, because you're taking on another 17th game in the regular season. Listen,
it's going to be rough.
It's definitely a difficult last place schedule. That's for sure.
But going to be good on defense.
But I think you're right.
Imagine there'll be a lot of close games, probably low scoring.
Brother, there's not a lot of pushback.
Offensive line play is going to be kind of brutal, especially with Cole Strange now being out for most of the year.
The Chicago game is a last place.
It is.
It's a last place schedule because they're taking on a team in the NFC North that's last place is their 17th regular season game.
Right.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
What else you got?
I saw some things about Brian Burns now in the Giants. He said that him and Kayvon Thibodeaux are going to be tough.
You push back on that?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying they're going to set the sack record for teammates in a year. That number is 39 from the 1989 Vikings. Chris Dolman.
Good one for you to pull that one. So first of all, I don't think I'm overreacting to this here, but you did research for this?
Sorry, yeah, I did.
You did?
This was the only one that I actually looked up because I wanted to see.
So you looked this up.
Well,
you didn't just see this fact somewhere
no,
and you're like, I'm going to pull it.
I looked it up.
You legitimately did research.
I did because I saw Brian Burns.
Are you feverish? Are you okay?
I got like 2 hours
Did you pull
sleep
something?
on the way back.
Did you pull something by doing research for Overreaction Monday? No. You did your own research.
I did.
I'm sorry to keep harping on this, but I can't believe it.
It's okay.
Okay.
I saw Brian Burns talk about, hey, me and Kayvon have a chance to be a dynamic duo, and I was like, I agree with you. But what's the record for sacks by teammates?
It's Dolman and who?
Dolman and I forget the other guy's name.
Oh, see, you did enough research and you
I didn't write it down.
You couldn't finish it up.
I didn't write it down. I got the year and the number and one of the guys.
You never heard this phrase? Bardia Shareas, the great producer from NFL Network, who you know well because he's at Fox now. Whenever this stuff like this would happen, he goes, "It's called research, not guesswork."
I get it.
That's why they call it research.
I got three quarters of it.
So here I am praising you for doing research, and you didn't even actually write the whole damn thing down.
In 1989, Chris Dolman and the other guy combined for 39. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
I think they're going to take it. I think they're going to take it down.
So somebody's going to get 20, and someone will get 19. Is that what you're?
Maybe both guys get 20.
Well, to break it.
Kayvon and Brian Burns.
I'll just push back on it. I'll push back on it.
Hold on. Got a rookie quarterback whose team gave up a lot of sacks last year, Washington.
Okay.
You got Dak with, who are his tackles again?
Okay.
And then we got the Giants, and their quarterbacks are...
No.
Okay.
You got the Cowboys. You got Dak. You got to go get Dak.
Yeah.
Dak's tackle is now playing for the Jets.
And the Eagles.
And the Eagles. Okay.
I'm just saying,
I know that, and that's the ones that they play the most. But I'll just say that's still a.
I'm just saying that could be pretty fun.
That's a big meal, right?
That's a fun one to just keep an eye on. And if I call that, I'm totally going to say that I called it.
Do you want me to look up the fact right now? Do you want somebody to look that up for you?
No.
So what year was it?
It was 1989.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to do this
1989 Vikings. It's Chris Dolman and...
1989 Vikings.
I knew I should have wrote it down.
Sack record.
I almost put it in the note. We're
going to get it real quick. Chris Dolman is there.
Yeah.
And who else was on it? Keith Millard? Is that who it is? He had 18 that year. There you go. Okay, and Dolman probably had 21.
Yeah, that's the record.
There you go.
Look at us.
See, that wasn't so tough.
Teammates.
But here I am saying, great job doing research, and then I keep it. But you have to understand, I'm going to keep digging for details until I find out what it is.
I did look it up. It wasn't just like in a Pro Football Talk article.
I hope you're all right. I hope you didn't pull anything.
I'm okay. All right, last one before halftime.
Yes, sir.
You know I love talking about QBs and who's under the most pressure.
All right.
I don't think you're going to think I'm going to say this person. Deshaun Watson. Dude, is the quarterback under the most pressure this year.
I will say this. I was legitimately on the way into work today for the flagship
show.
And I'm thinking, do I want to do a top five? But we did what's more likely. And I'm like, the top five I'm thinking of are storylines that are the wildest for the season. Okay. And Deshaun Watson taking the Browns to the AFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl, is one of them. And when what you're getting at here, I think, is the fact that
he's got to go far this year.
Watson has been injured and then had sort of his redshirt year where
he played 6 games,
right? Because the league wanted to take enough games under their belt to suspend him to make sure that the contract would at least count for the Browns. Yep. Okay, that they're going to pay all this money for him, even though they made the first year of his contract less than.
It was like $1 million total or something.
Because they knew it was coming.
Loophole.
They knew it was coming, but they weren't going to just let him. They had to toll the contract. They had to actually make sure that there was a year taken off. They weren't going to give him an extra year there. And so this year, though, is going to be him taking over a team now retaking over a team that made the playoffs, did get boat raced out, all right, but Joe Flacco was...
But Joe Flacco was their quarterback.
He was so good. How good?
How good was he?
He became comeback player of the year in just 6 starts.
Oh, my God.
Or whatever he did.
It was not many.
He went from the couch to comeback player of the year in a month and a half.
He was awesome.
I mean, I've never heard of somebody missing the first 2+ months of the season.
He was great.
And becoming comeback player of the year because he was so good in this offense that did not have Nick Chubb running it either.
Right, because he got hurt very, very early.
So, and that defense is very good, despite, again, their playoff performance. The Browns are set up here. The Browns
I agree with you, man.
chosen by the NFL to host the Cowboys in week 1. They put the Cowboys on the air in Cleveland in week 1 because that is the Browns are, if you will, and I know they're going to have a problem with this. Sorry. But the Browns are, if you will, in terms of the first week schedule of this year, the Detroit Lions of this equation. Where the league is like, okay, we saw what you did last year.
Yep.
You're also a franchise that's associated with stepping on themselves. But we are putting you in a marquee spot. Yep. Tom Brady's in the booth.
First game.
And they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
And for Deshaun Watson to step up there and say, I got this. And you're going to see how my abilities are still outstanding. And this team is now going to be elevated even more. We're going to take the next step together. By showing up and showing out against the Cowboys. The league is totally aware of that, and that's why they put him there. And the only pushback I can have here is pressure. Is he really under pressure? They're not going to trade him. His contract is what it is, and there's no, like, hey, this is funny money, so we can just get out of the contract next year. No, this is the only one unicorn contract in the NFL where it is what it is.
Right.
And so that's the only thing about pressure.
But
and
this is what, year three of this deal?
It's year 3, season 3.
Season 3.
And so that's why it's another interesting aspect, just to finish the thought here, of putting Dallas in there. Because Dallas's version of pressure and all in is we're going to create it ourselves. We're going to create it ourselves for the coach, for the quarterback, and for, as of this taping, the wide receiver and the main pass rusher. And we're going to basically tell every single person with a pulse in our organization, prove it. So that's the concept of pressure. This guy, Deshaun Watson, is going to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns in 2025, barring anything health-wise. So I don't know what the pressure is on that, but the focus for sure, and whether the Browns can take a next step, is absolutely predicated on Deshaun Watson's abilities still being as great as they were in his final throws in Houston.
Someone we haven't seen in 4 years.
That is correct. So I don't know. I'll accept.
I think you agree. I think you agree.
But pressure is what you make of it for yourself. And pressure is actually, will I be around here? Is my legacy at stake? You know, I don't know. That's my definition of pressure.
But if they go 7-10, I mean,
he'll still be the quarterback next year.
Yeah, but now expectations are same old Browns.
But to me, it's about losing your gig, changing your address, changing a whole bunch of stuff. But I hear you, what you are aiming at. We'll talk about it more on the flagship. For the moment, we've reached halftime of today's episode of Overreaction Monday. If you don't mind us switching sports for a second, the basketball playoffs, as they're currently running right now,
hype.
They are. And the scenes in each one of these arenas are intense, to say the least. And if you're thinking how cool it would be to actually attend a game while watching these games, please know that Game Time's an authorized ticket marketplace for basketball, which makes getting playoff tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-offs. So you can check out an event that's going down, save up to 60% of buying last minute for not just basketball, but concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The all-in pricing. You can toggle this feature, and it shows the total up front, so you get no surprise fees at checkout. I love that. Take the guesswork out of buying basketball tickets in particular with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use our code OVERREACTION for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Visit gametime.co for restrictions. Again, create an account, redeem our code OVERREACTION, 2 R's in Overreaction, and you get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, Chris, for second half.
Second half, here we go.
I think I've bought 1.5 of your first half.
All right, let's see if we can't get a few
topics.
more here.
What else?
Let's talk here locally. The Rams, one of the kind of surprise teams last year. I thought they were going to go in one direction, and they went in the other. They were awesome.
Okay.
They're playing with fire by not giving Matthew Stafford a new deal.
I think they're going to get something done before the season.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
I think this is kind of a moot point.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think he's going to go into the season without what he's looking for.
Okay.
Certainly since week 1 is against Jared Goff, who got what he's looking for.
Rematch.
I would be very surprised if something wasn't done for Matthew Stafford to his contract prior to that week 1 visit to Detroit.
Well, what are we waiting for?
I don't know. It's a long off season, brother. You mean stuff happens. Stuff takes time. I don't have an answer for you.
Season ended 4 months ago.
I don't know.
All right.
But
seems like I don't know.
They did
they could have taken care.
By the way, they did that documentary on him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he had any interest in helping promote it.
He didn't.
Because we gave him a spot right here. I'm like, I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
And he followed his life around last year, and he's like, yeah, no, we're not talking about it.
Interesting.
I don't know if I'm putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5. I think I am adding that up and coming up with 4
or 9,
or 4 plus 5 equals 9. Maybe that's what it's got to be. Start with a 4 and then have a 5 after the 4. I don't know. What his contract is?
Would you rather pay him at his age or Trevor Lawrence, where he's at right now?
Oh, I'd pay him at his age.
And that should tell you everything you need to know about Trevor Lawrence.
But I also don't have that option if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, Chris. You understand what I'm saying? It's not all just things being equal and in a silo. It's you have to have the Jacksonville Jaguars do not have the option of telling Trevor Lawrence, sorry.
What?
We're done, and we're going to not only be done, but we're going to take the if you will, figurative bullet of showing that we didn't get it right with him and moving on from somebody who is younger than Stafford. But if the rest of the team is ready to win now, look at the trophy that's in the case at SoFi Stadium.
I get it, but some team is going to do it.
But I don't have the option.
Some team is going to do a whole rookie deal and say, let's just start over with our player at the Brock Purdy situation or, a first-round value and start from there.
That would be very risky, but I'm also not going to sit here and say that's completely out of the realm when there is a team who has done both of what we're talking about, which is signed a veteran to a ton of money to win the Super Bowl now and still draft the rookie in the same spring to do it actually 1 month apart.
It's crazy.
I've never heard of anything like that. So you're sitting here going, who would you choose? The young, unproven guy? Or would you choose the proven veteran guy who's way longer in the tooth and can actually be potentially cheaper?
Kirk hasn't won yet.
And you could feel better about being overcapped with this guy than the guy who hasn't won anything yet. And the Falcons did both. Which I still can't friggin' believe.
Kirk hasn't won yet, but
I think they're going to get this done anyway.
Okay.
What else?
The hot seat, the pressure equivalent for coaches is the hot seat.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel is on the hottest seat heading into 2024.
No, not heading
for
in.
Head coaches.
Not heading in, but heading out could be.
Who's on a hotter seat then heading into the season? Is it McCarthy?
Of course.
Okay.
He's a guy who didn't even get extended.
He's actually had a bunch of success.
Sir.
This guy.
Name me the last head coach.
I don't know,
Name me
man.
the last head coach who was allowed to walk into his final season as a head coach. They look. First of all, couple things.
Has the shine worn off on Mike McDaniel?
Couple things. No. I don't think the shine's worn off on him.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Not after the playoff performance. We're giving a pass for that.
The first season was his first season. The second season was an improvement until they stepped until they didn't win in the playoffs.
They had 2 playoff games and lost them both.
Dude, they also, how many non-contact injuries did their defensive line suffer?
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
And then there was that hip drop tackle on Tyreek Hill in that Monday night loss to Tennessee that totally changed things up. Okay. So
we're giving them a pass for all that.
But other teams have injuries and things of that nature.
Okay.
If the Dolphins once again have a good regular season, excellent regular season, and then fizzle out at the end, and all the narratives that Mike McDaniel even pointed out last year,
he knows that they exist.
He was aware of, and all of that. It might be like you're entertaining, you're intelligent, and your teams perform well in this situation, but not when it all comes down to it. And will that get his seat hotter? Potentially. I don't know. I know the Dolphins love him. I know the organization loves him, and there's good reason for that. But to say he's got the hottest seat heading into the season, absolutely not. The hottest seat belongs to Mike McCarthy.
What are the top 5 then? Top 5 hottest seats heading into the season?
Right, if you want me to really endeavor that,
yeah.
Let's go down.
Let's think about it.
It's not Arizona. It's not Atlanta. It's definitely not Baltimore. I'd put Sean McDermott on that list.
Okay.
It's not Carolina. It's not. I don't think Eberflus's seat is hot. It's definitely not Cincinnati. Definitely not Cleveland. Definitely not Denver. Definitely not Detroit. Definitely not Green Bay or Houston. Definitely not Indianapolis. Not Jacksonville. I don't think. Definitely not Kansas City. Certainly not the Chargers or the Rams. Not Vegas. There's Miami there, but not Minnesota. Definitely not New England. I'd put Dennis Allen maybe in that list.
Okay.
You could put Daboll on that list.
Okay.
Salah.
That's fine.
Definitely.
Salah.
Hold on. I'm naming
I know,
some
we're
names
getting there.
here.
We're at 6.
You want to put Sirianni on there? For real?
Yeah, I mean,
there was an open question.
They were thinking about it.
I cannot imagine. Everyone wants me to put Tomlin on this list. I'm just not going to. Seattle, San Francisco, no. Tampa, no. Tennessee, no. Washington, no. Although Tampa's could get hot if things really go south.
Okay.
So give me the 5.
So
give me the 8 now.
Buffalo, Miami, New Orleans, Dallas, Giants, Jets, Eagles, Bucks.
All right, so Dallas, Giants, Jets are definitely 3. Give me the other ones. I put Buffalo there.
Buffalo, Miami, Saints, Bucks.
And I'd put
Eagles?
the Saints.
Eagles?
Saints. No, I'm just not going to do that.
Okay.
But Giants, Jets, Dallas, Saints, and
Bills?
Buffalo.
Bills?
Yeah. I mean, what's the conversation before they took off last year was, Marshall Faulk went on the flagship show and he goes, well, he's now officially out of options, having fired both coordinators.
Yeah. Belichick right there.
So
what's the best?
Overreaction.
What's the best spot for Belichick on this list?
Oh God, I don't know.
That's going to be a conversation.
Oh, no doubt.
Fast.
Certainly when he starts dominating the Manning cast.
It's going to be great. All right. I love what I've seen so far out of the Packers. Jordan Love, top 5 MVP this season.
I don't think that's an overreaction. I think if he plays for a full season the way that he played at the end of last year, he'll be in that mix. A Green Bay quarterback that's lighting it up for a team that's got 10, 11, 12 wins, that's a marquee position.
Sounds familiar.
So I just don't think that is out of the realm. If he comes out of the gate and performs in the first half of the season the way that he did the second half of the season, honestly, that throw that ended their playoff game against San Francisco,
so unlike him all year.
It was his worst throw in months.
Easily.
In months.
Can't believe he did it in real time, and still months later.
I'll buy that. I don't think that is
okay
out of the realm at all.
All right, 2 more. At least 2 teams are going worst to first this year.
Okay,
worst division to winning the division. I like 2 teams at least.
Listen,
2 teams at least.
In the schedule release show, this was a question.
It was.
Who's going from worst to first?
Okay, great.
And,
who'd you say?
And so I didn't choose one because Mike Robb and MJD, Michael Robinson and Maurice Jones-Drew had already chosen the only 2 options as far as I was concerned, which was, and I know this is heretical, Chargers And Bears.
And Bears.
Yeah. Oh, no, Chargers and Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah.
Right, and I just didn't want to go Bears. They took Chargers, and the other one took Bengals, and of course, the producers are like, "Well, these two are taken.
Do you want to take the Bears?
Do you want? Producers will kind of push you to make the wrong decision."
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say that because it is their job to make sure that I am getting through a broadcast best I can.
Sure, of course.
But they're always like, you want to take a controversial stand, and we can mix it up. You want to try it? And I'm like, no, thanks. Hard pass.
Cardinals, Panthers. I mean,
definitely weren't going to do that.
Bryce Young looks good so far.
I wasn't taking your Patriots.
No.
So those are really the two best options. And if you really want to throw the Bears into that mix too,
it could be fun. I mean, it's a tough division.
Good enough, but I would say two teams are going to go from worst to first. That's still a very tall
That's still tough. I mean,
order. I'll push
Chargers
back on
still
that.
Tough, but
one is definitely Chargers still tough. I mean, it's still Chiefs.
Even Bengals is tough.
But you say the Chiefs are going to go 0-3.
Well, they didn't have any receivers last year.
I'll
and they
push
still won
back
the
and
Super
call
Bowl.
that an overreaction, but you almost had me at hello.
Okay, last one, Rich.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, and this is an honest question. I say
were the other questions up to this point dishonest? Were they all dishonest?
No, but I don't know. Maybe they weren't as infused as this one. What are we doing given the Jets 6 primetime games?
Yeah, I mean, it's
like, what are we doing? Honestly, what are we doing? And then to come out and
say a seventh standalone
and to come
in
out
London.
and say they owe us. What does that mean?
I know Mike North was saying they owe. I know, and it's kind of funny.
What?
Jets fans were all like, you know, we're owed for 54 years of misery.
right.
They in terms of the order of who's owed, the NFL is taking a back seat. Yeah, they're down the queue. You know what I mean?
Like, come on. And the Jets have a really hard schedule.
No, I know that. But again, Rodgers is a hot commodity for various reasons. And
is it just about ratings? Like putting them on? Come on.
Yes, it is. And you know that Monday night game, Rodgers in San Francisco is going to be
It's going to be massive.
Right. And then you've got them a Thursday night home game against New England. It is their home opener.
It's not even going to be a close game, though, probably.
Well, I mean, the Jets kind of need one because, I mean, you take a look at the beginning of their schedule. That Monday night game at San Francisco is obviously a difficult assignment. And then when are they going to land in New Jersey? Tuesday, 7 a.m., 8 a.m.? And then they're going to have to turn around and go to Tennessee a few days later after practice. So that ain't easy. And then have a short week on Thursday. I mean, they've got 3 games in 11 days to start the season.
That's
so we'll
tough.
find out real fast. Then there's the 7th standalone game.
Which is which one?
The London game.
Oh, the London game, right.
Yeah, that's a difference. It's not primetime, but it is standalone. The only other team with 7 standalone games are the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Jets have 7. Their 7 standalone games are all in the first
But do you really
11
think,
weeks.
like, nationally, the Jets are on the same standing as the Chiefs?
Of course not.
Then
There's no, but
what are we doing?
No, but nationally, they are of significant interest because half the people want the Jets fans want Rodgers to succeed, and everybody else wants him to, go hang with RFK.
I guess so. Following his face, a
Right?
little bit,
And even he is admitting fully that, hey, if I don't perform up to my level of expectation, then none of us are here, and that's a given. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. Yeah,
and so. I think that sort of tightrope do or die situation adds a razor's edge to a lot of these games.
Yeah.
And the other, and you could just take a look again, our color coded sheet. It kind of looks like our show logo here.
I love the lamination this year.
Yeah. You could thank TJ Jefferson for that.
Well done. Thank you, TJ.
The games that they are standalone against: San Francisco, New England, Minnesota, Buffalo, Pittsburgh. That's a Sunday nighter. Houston. And then there's the one against Indianapolis. So,
and by the way, that's not counting like weeks 13 and on that could be flexed into. Like,
I can't imagine that there's any flex capabilities because that'll be tough for an 8th standalone game. I don't think you're even allowed to do that.
I'm just saying, what if they're 10-2 or something?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
What did I say? Were you here for this, or you were out of the chair for this? I think you were out of the chair for this. That if the Jets start 3-0, I'd wind up, I'd show up to this show like LeBron in white pants with a bottle of Opus One opened, and,
like when he showed up courtside to the playoff game.
because that was the hot photograph and talk when you were out last week.
Right. Hey, coffee, water, and a bottle of wine.
TJ's like, if they're 3-0, would you open a bottle of Opus One? I'm like, I would not only open one, I would come to the show and I'd wear white pants like LeBron.
When are you going to do win-loss for the Jets here?
Oh, my God. But again,
but you might call one of their games, right?
Yeah, and I don't need anybody thinking that I won't do a credible job.
I get it.
I won't wear this to Tottenham. That's for sure.
Honestly, do you think you know how everyone does the fit picks as they enter the stadium, NBA, NFL, WNBA are big now. When are we going to do announcer fit picks walking into the stadium?
Why not?
And you can just roll up in that.
I can just roll up in that
to the London
with a bottle of Opus One. Hey, everybody. Fun episode of Overreaction Monday. Again, we'll be back at it in June. We'll let you know when. But check us out every single day, 12 to 3 Eastern on The Rich Eisen Show. Susie Schuster and Amy Trask were right in these positions earlier this week and recorded an episode of What the Football with Mike Tirico of Sunday Night Football. Check that out on your RSS feed. Where you get Overreaction Monday. Thanks, Chris.
Hey, buddy.
For Chris, I'm Rich. Adios. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.